Welcome to episode 24 of our series on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. As you know, there are thousands of surnames in these regions. So, to make our task more manageable, we're focusing on pre-Civil War surnames. That's because the Industrial Revolution ushered in thousands more. Each of the family names we'll examine today was requested by members of our YouTube community. You might note that I discuss surnames in the order that I received them, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve as a resource for you. I also appreciate your patience as I make my way through the names still in our list. By request, I'm going to post an email address to the Vantage Point in the description, so you can offer comments and make requests for a surname catalog which contains all the families that we have covered up through this week. In case you missed the previous video, I'll post a link to it too in the description. So, today on the Vantage Point, we'll be talking about the origins and meanings of 9 common and not so common Appalachian and Southern surnames. I hope you'll join me. Let's get started. Number 1, Byrd. Someone out there is going to think that I'm deviating from Appalachia and the South by mentioning the hick from French lick. If you were suddenly transported to any of the towns that characterize southern Indiana, you could be forgiven for thinking that you were in northern Kentucky or southern Missouri in the Ozarks. French Lick, Indiana, which lies in the rolling hills of the state, is where Larry Byrd was born and raised. Larry Byrd was born into poverty that resembles many small towns in central and southern Appalachia. I'm not sure if Larry Byrd claims an ethnic identity other than to be a Boston Celtic or Celtic, but where did his family name originate and what did it mean? Byrd is used in Ireland as a synonym for several Irish surnames. The surname, however, is English in origin and started its existence as a nickname. In Scotland, Byrd first appeared in Aberdeen in 1443. It also has a medieval presence in other Scottish towns. Byrd is not found among the more common Welsh family names, so I think it could be called an Anglo-Irish, Anglo-Scottish, or English surname, depending on where one's line originated. Number 2, Bridgeman. Imagine traveling along on an old dirt road through an English forest in the year 1200. Up ahead is a bridge that must be crossed to get to our destination. Near the bridge is a wee house, and in it lives a Bridgeman and his family. It's a locational name. Bridgeman is found in Ireland, where it can be an anglicized version of a few Gaelic names or as a surname of English or even Dutch immigrants. Bridgeman doesn't appear among the more common Welsh surnames, and Black doesn't include it as a Scottish family name. I think Bridgeman can be called an Anglo-Irish or English surname, depending on where one's line originated. Number 3, Huddleston. In the 13th century, Yorkshire, England was a Viking-rich culture area, but there was a sizable population of Anglo-Saxons living in the region. The Anglo-Saxon or Middle English surname Huddleston is derived from a West Yorkshire place called Hodel's estate. Huddleston does not appear to be a common surname in Wales. MacLeisic doesn't list it as in his Irish surnames book. In Scotland, we hit pay dirt. Huddleston is likewise of local origin in Dumfriesshire, England, or Scotland, In Scotland, the name was often spelled as Hiddleston, as in Tom Hiddleston, who starred as Floki in a few Marvel comic book movies. You might also know him as the last actor or one of the last actors to play Hank Williams in a movie. Number 4, Scott. The surname Scott is, wait for it, Anglo-Celtic in origin. You might be asking, what do you mean by Celtic, Van? Like the country Scotland, the surname Scott owes a lot of its origin to the people from Ireland that the 4th century Romans called the Scotti. That's right, a significant part of Scottish DNA and culture came from Ireland. That cultural transformation can be seen in the derivation of the surname. Scott started its history as Scotti, the Latin word for painted or tattooed people. The Anglo-Saxons modified it to Scot. To the Anglo-Saxons it meant Irishman, but over time it switched to Scotchman. So, I hope you can appreciate why I call Scott an Anglo-Celtic surname. Number 5, Hopkins. When I received the request to cover Hopkins, images of the boxer Bernard Hopkins and the Welsh actor Sir Anthony Hopkins popped into my head. Nevertheless, the surname originated in England and was given to the son of Hopkins. Obviously, the P replaces the B sound in Hopkins. Hopkins is found in Ireland as an immigrant name as well as an alternate form of In Scotland, it's understood to mean the son of Hob. In Scotland, it can also appear with no S at the end. Some form of Hopkins first appears on the Scottish records in the 14th century. Hopkins is also the 33rd most common surname in Wales. I think that we in Appalachia in the South are safe in calling Hopkins an Anglo-Celtic surname. Number 6, Hollyfield. Whereas Hopkins reminded me of Bernard Hopkins, Hollyfield conjures up memories of another boxer named Evander Holyfield. In case I didn't mention it, I'm a huge boxing fan. At first glance, I would have thought that Holyfield referred to a person who lived in a meadow by a holly tree. Nope, that's not it. According to the Dictionary of American Family Names, it originated in Essex, England at Waltham Abbey. It meant holy open country. Another online source claims it's a Scottish surname, but I can't find any printed source that confirms a sizable presence in Scotland, Ireland, or Wales. That leaves us with England as a source for Holyfield. Number 7, Bradley. While this surname looks like the quintessential English name, it has 3 origins: England, Ireland, and Scotland. Linguistically, though, it is English. In England, it was derived from a place called Bradley. In Scotland, it's also local or toponymic. It was derived from the lands of Bradley in Hawick, which is in Roxburghshire in the southeastern corner of Scotland. In Ireland, it isn't of local derivation. It's most often a synonym for this Irish name. It's not among the more common surnames in Wales, so I think we're safe in calling Bradley an English, Anglo-Irish, or Anglo-Scottish surname, depending upon where one's line originated. Number 8, Jackson. When I received this request, it was hard for me not to think of Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States. Jackson was the first American president born of direct Irish descent. Well, technically he was of English parentage, but his father's family had moved to Ulster from England during the plantation era. I'm not quite sure about his mom's family. As a reminder, the plantation era was a product of the 17th century policy of King James Stuart. If you'd like for me to present a short series on King James and the Ulster plantation, I'd be happy to oblige. Leave me your thoughts on that in the comments section, please. Black tells us that Jackson, which means the son of Jack, is found in Scotland, but it's never been popular there. In Wales, though, Jackson is found among the more common Welsh surnames. Linguistically, Jackson is of course an English name, but culturally it has taken on a sort of Anglo-Celtic flavor here in the South. Number 9, Rhys. In the South, this surname could be of Irish, English, or German origin, but it's often of Welsh origin. It's not derived from the grass species that gives us grain. Nope, it sure isn't. Rhys is an anglicized form of Rhys, R-H-Y-S, which is a masculine personal name, and more than one Welsh king was named Rhys. Well, friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope you got something meaningful out of our discussion. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I invite you to check out all the videos on the Vantage Point. In addition to Surnames of Appalachia and the South, they cover a wide range of topics that deserve historical attention. Don't forget to let me know in the comments section or by email if you'd be interested in a short series on the Ulster plantation of the 17th century. Think of it as a study on the birth of the Scots-Irish people. If demand warrants it, I'll be back soon with another episode on the Surnames of Appalachia and the American South. Hope to see you then. God bless you and yours. Bye-bye.